a sample. Actually, this is the big brother. Our range starts from 6-inch size up to 22-inch size, meaning that this diameter in this sample is 22 inches, so 600 millimeter diameter of the stage. This is also an important range for us. Also, again, our philosophy is to have 3 materials available, so from cast iron, 316 duplex. So thanks to this material availability, you can install this pump on standard potable water up to the very chemical or seawater application thanks to duplex material. No other data, don't want to bother you with, again, with a lot of information, but few features. Our standard executions used the conic coupling. That is in your picture. You read the drawing number 2. Why conic coupling we use? The conic coupling is the device which connects shaft to shaft. So from the pump to the line shaft to the drive head. Any connection needs to be coupled. If we use conic coupling, we put in the perfect axial position the shaft. So we do not have vibration due to the non-proper position of the shaft. Moreover, in case of servicing, we can dismantle easily by these 2 rings, the blue rings, the 2 elements, and even after many years of operation, you can get your shaft open, so you don't need to cut or to get a lot of difficult operation to open the pump, disassemble, and reassemble. Other option is the mechanical seals, which is located on this area. We could have a gland packing, single seals, cartridge, or double mechanical seal in case of very aggressive liquid. Last but not least, in the same drive head, we have the thrust bearing. Thrust bearing can be provided with oil or grease lubrication. Special executions available. You can see on the drawing, we can have hollow shaft motor, very common on North America, where the thrust bearing is located inside the motor. The gearbox is the central execution when you need to couple the diesel engine motor, and that is very common on rural area, in the agricultural irrigation area where the electricity is not available. And finally, we have the barrel, is the last on the right-hand drawing. Barrel is inline, pressurized tank, and this is typical for boosting, firefighting, or even condensate. Coverage, as I mentioned before, we have a very large flow of performance. We go up to 1,600 cubic. Maximum pressure 26 bar, and again, installed motor there can be 630 kilowatt, but eventually if you combine with the diesel engine gearbox, this power can be increased sensibly. Applications. Well, if historically that line was practically developed for deep well, whenever the boreal pump were not available, so we are talking about 20, 30 years ago, this was the only solution. So this was the surface part, and all the rest was immersed in the well. So this was the only case. Now, the boreal solution is much more convenient, efficient, less expensive, and this execution is not anymore used or less used in this application. It's moving into more industrial applications, so in tank. So in the top of the tank you have the drive head, and on the bottom you have the hydraulics parts. Why in the tank? Because in case of hot liquid, aggressive liquid, you have the hydraulic parts in the contact with the liquid, but you keep the motor on safe area, non-hazardous area. So the motor can be standard. So that is the great advantage of the vertical turbine. Water distribution, power plants. Power plant, why? Because we have a stainless steel, and with a vertical turbine, you don't have a problem on NPSH because your pump is immersed on the liquid. So power plant for condensate is ideal. Pivot irrigations, we go back to historical applications, agriculture, large plants. Reverse osmosis water treatment because of the stainless steel. Let me now give you some other successful story of this pump. We move back to Italy now, and we are in the center of Italy on the Adriatic Sea, and we install a small brother of this sample in the so-called Porto Corsini power station. That is a very giant Enel power station of turbo gas, so is powered by gas. The size of this power plant is 700 megawatts. Think about that. We were talking about Cerro Pabellón in Chile, which was 81 megawatts. This size is 700, just to give you the magnitude of the plant. And in this plant, they ask us to provide the firefighting units. So we install, look about the drawing that is there, where is shown the location of the pump. This location is directly on the sea channel. So practically the pump is sucking sea water. That's why the pump was made completely of stainless steel 316. With one unique pump, we were able to provide the extinguish system, so the firefighting system of the full power plants. So the pump is providing 550 cubic meter per hour flow. The application is quite hard. Why? Because of the medium. Medium is the seawater, but moreover, the pump is kept running once per week, few hours, because they need to grant that in case of needs, the system is operative. So this pump is running with the seawater at a shut-off pressure for a few hours. That's why is a quite, let's say, heavy-duty application, I would say.
Which lubrication is better for the truss bearing?
Nice question, nice question. Well, in this case, we provide oil lubrications in the truss bearing on top on the drive head. I would say that the most professional lubrication for any bearings, roller or ball bearing, is oil. Why? Because oil lubrications, rather than to be able to prevent, to lubricate efficiently the rotating parts, is also evacuating the heat produced by rotating parts. So makes provide two different effects to the bearing. So double positive effect. Compared to the grease lubrication, we had a disadvantage, let me say disadvantage, that regularly you need to change the oil. Okay, so according to the type of service, intermediate or continuous, you need regularly to change the oil.
So it needs more maintenance.
Bravo. On the other side, on the other hand, grease lubrications normally is provided with a sealed type of bearing, so it's so-called life lubricated. So whenever you install this bearing, you let the pump running up to the end of the life, 2, 3 years, 10 years, and whenever you face some problem, you take the bearing out and you replace. So it's more practical, let me say, the grease lubrication. Let's move on another case story of for this pump, for this family, and then we move back to Holland again. We are in Haarlem City, so again on the northeast of Holland, and here we are in the very big AkzoNobel chemical district, which has been reconverted, so has got an efficiency reconversions made by Veolia company, which is a very big company in the green and efficiency reconversions. And they were looking for solutions in order to reduce the consumptions of the chiller pump. So in this project, what we did, we replaced an existing pump on which there was installed a 315 kilowatt motor size. And by doing the same job, so delivering the same flow and the same pressure, we were able to use a much smaller motor, 250 kilowatt motor. So imagine the energy saving that we provide to this system.
For this pump, do you supply even the foundation plate?
Not in this, actually, but because there was the existing foundation plate, so we just care to get the connection holes and bolts to be suitable for the existing foundation plate. But in case of needs, yes, we can provide you the foundation plates, which is very recommended on this application because the foundation plates that we provide has adjusting bolts in order that you can put on the proper horizontal position these plates in order that the pump that is coming after will be positioned, placed perfectly in the vertical position, so not to have any, let's say, misalignment of the vertical shaft, let's say.